Hello everyone, my name is Jeffrey Kennedy and welcome back to another episode of Market Academy. Well, we're going to have some fun with some price charts here. We're going to start with Reddit, ticker symbol RDDT. And kind of what caught my attention here, well, two things. I'll be talking about one of them shortly. But essentially what I liked about this price chart here, again, a little bit late. Again, we've had the break off, but here's that classical double failure swing low. We rally, we come down, we rally again, come down again. Not able to sell off or even come back down and close some of these price gaps. And then we've taken off and actually we're about to make new all-time highs here in Reddit, very, very close to that high there that we saw back in February of 2025. That level comes into play at 230.4. Now, first, and again, this is kind of the segue into a topic that we're going to talk about later, but it's kind of hard to believe that Reddit has been able to climb, again, back to the February high after experiencing such a dramatic sell-off into the April low. We went from the high all the way down to the low there. That was a drop in price of 65.37%. Now, I'm going to set this chart to the side because, again, this is going to be part of a talking point on my last chart that I'm going to share with you in just a moment. But let's get back to Reddit and look at some of the internals here moving forward. So going back to that April low, one up, two down, one up, two down, some breakaway gaps, acceleration gaps. Because this is 1, 2, 1, 2, of course, we need 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. So moving forward, I do anticipate most likely further rally into October, November, December. And here are some of your traditional Fibonacci objectives to the upside. 1.618, 250, 277, and then 320.48. And then, of course, we can enhance those levels by applying our reverse Fibonacci target. And so I think the little cluster is really shaping up here. It's really between, say, 277 and 287. I think that's a good target, certainly for that red wave 3. So bottom line, continuing to like the upside to the to Reddit. Anytime we see weakness, probably 1 to 3 weeks of weakness sort of thing, that should prove to be nothing more than buying opportunities in the direction of the larger uptrend. And then, of course, when we look at our technicals as well, what I like here, really good example of what happened here back in April and May. Really good example of an RSI phase change or transition, because notice over here to the left in March, RSI is well under RSI bull market support. Then we climb into RSI bear market resistance. Now, if this is a counter trend move, then what we should see on the decline, in addition to new lows back under that April low, but we also too should see RSI decisively fall below RSI bull market support. Instead, RSI bull market support actually provided support for RSI, and then you see a change of trend. This little signature in RSI is very important and allows you to sometimes identify a significant change of trend early on. So we went up into RSI bear market resistance, came down back into RSI bull market support, oversold stochastic. So following the May low, there was really no looking back. Then we have our moving average compression. Again, nice oversold crossover between %K, %D. And the stochastic looks good. Again, further rally, certainly above the long-term moving averages there. Here's our candlestick price chart. Nice bullish engulfing weekly pattern back in April. Notice moving the subsequent price action. That is a 3 rising methods that then followed. Again, continuation pattern. Then we see the %Rs here flip up. Again, everything that I see here, whether it's the daily or the weekly price chart levels, certainly argue that the trend is up in Reddit, and we certainly have more to go. And then, of course, just the crossovers with the MACD line and the MACD signal line. The MACD line fell below the signal line back in February. That was the case all the way into April. Then we crossed over. Here we have an MACD pinch and another pinch right here. Again, certainly like the idea of higher prices moving forward. Okay, now here's the price chart I wanted to talk to you really about. And so everything that we've looked at as far as Reddit is really kind of the segue to this price chart, United Healthcare Group. Okay, United Healthcare arguably is like the largest medical health insurance provider in the United States. And as you know, this year has not been a good year for Reddit. I'm sorry, for United Healthcare. In fact, off the high here that occurred in late 2024 to the recent swing low, well, that's 62% drop in price. Okay, so that's a massive sell-off here. Who would want to touch that? Well, let's go back and again, let's take a look at Reddit, okay? Because in Reddit, pretty much the same thing happened, albeit for different reasons. But notice the decline here. Also, too, notice a really good example of a closing the price gap trade setup. We came down, tagged that price gap beautifully here back in April and saw the reversal. But again, looking at this price chart, if we'd gone back in time, myself included, okay, if we'd gone back to this period of time here, say back in March and April and May, and saw that huge move to the downside in Reddit, I probably would have been hard pressed myself to think, okay, hey, we're going to bottom out and the trend's going to turn up and we're going to go back above the high here that occurred in February. And the reason why I would have thought that is because, again, look at the size of the decline here between February and into early April. That was a 65% drop in price. So you might have just thrown up your hands and game over. Reddit's dead. It's not going to make new highs. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to go rally, bounce up to maybe 150, and then we're going to come down to $50 a share. But instead, look what happened, okay? After that massive decline, after that massive 65% sell-off in Reddit, well, what did we do? We started to form our double failure swing low here. And then we saw some of the technicals, some of the momentum indicators and oscillators kind of come into play and begin turning positive. And again, by focusing on price. Okay, so going back to United Healthcare, yes, this decline has been massive, okay? And again, not as massive on a percentage basis that we saw in Reddit, but so far off the high, it's 62% down in price. Well, I don't think United Healthcare is going to go away anytime soon. Again, it is arguably the largest health insurance provider in the United States. So this actually might be something to watch. And maybe we can use the template in Reddit that we've seen here moving forward as we transition from 2025 into 2026. This might be something we talk about because come 2026 or possibly 2027, maybe when we come back and revisit this, who knows? Maybe we'll see something similar in United Healthcare like what we saw in Reddit. Simply put, just because a stock has a massive sell-off doesn't mean it's done, okay? Just continue to keep an eye on it, continue to, employ your skills as a technician and trader, and just simply look for patterns that you certainly recognize. But again, just because you have a big sell-off doesn't mean a stock is dead. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen in United Healthcare over the next, say, 6 to 9 months. Can we indeed begin forming a base? Can we begin to develop higher highs and higher lows like we did in Reddit? And maybe come 2027, will United Healthcare be back trading 600 or 700 or 800? Okay, everyone. Well, that's about it for me for today. As always, thank you very, very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.